Well, here we are, and another thing is broken. I don't have the money, and I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Every time I turn the key, it just clicks. So where is the starter? There it is, down there. And here's what it looks like from below. With the parking brake set, I put the weight of the car on some bricks and I threw the jack underneath just to get it out of the way. I removed electrical connections and then the mounting bolts with a wrench and a screwdriver. I set up some cardboard to work on. Here we see the back plate I need to open. And this is what I discovered. And here you see the damage and the parts I need to repair. Here you see the solenoid contact. It was scarred but repairable. Here's what it looked like after I finished filing. This contact was worn paper thin and I needed to replace it. I needed to find some stock copper and I didn't have any, but there was some in the hardware store. I decided to buy this piece of copper because it was thick enough, but now I need to turn it into a flat piece of stock so I can cut my piece out of it. My bandsaw has a metal cutting blade. Don't try and do this with a wood cutting blade. It's amazing how strong this coupler was. I had to use a screwdriver and then a pair of duckbills. Now that I had the duckbills in there, I had to use a larger screwdriver to spread those open. It was pretty springy. Now I need a bigger gap, so again, here I am with the screwdriver. I got it spread enough so that I could get my fingers in there and opened it up. Next thing to do was to put it on the floor and hit it with a dead blow hammer and turn it into a nice piece of flat copper stock. Something I can use on other projects. Next I needed to trace it onto the copper. Then I darkened the outline so I wouldn't accidentally cut into any of the area that I wanted to keep. And here's the rough outline. Now I was ready to cut it out. I decided to do one single cut on the tab end. Then I cut out the whole piece. And here's what it looks like. Now I'm just cutting off the small piece that's next to the tab. Now the tab end is clear, I can put the duckbills on them and I'm going to put it on the floor and bend it to 90 degrees. And there it is. At this point it was good to do a comparison. I wanted to make sure that I had enough raw material that I could still form the piece I wanted. The comparison was good, so now I needed to cut off the excess material. I'm not trying to be perfect here, I'm just trying to do some rough cuts and make it so that it'd be easier to file. Getting closer to what I want. My part is in there, but now it's going to take some filing. As I filed, I'd stop occasionally to compare it to the other part to make sure that I didn't take too much away. Now I had to drill it and then take a file to it to make a square hole. That was what's in the other piece, and that's what I put in this piece. The bolt that goes in this hole has a spline on it, so you want to make sure you line it up, and then you have to tap it in. So when you make the hole, make it just a little bit smaller. Now here are the three parts that were bad. That one I made, this one I filed, and the other one I filed. And then I buffed them up with Scotch-Brite. Here I'm using a can of motor and contact cleaner. It's always good to clean it on the outside, but make sure you clean it on the inside as well. Now I'm going to spray the inside. I do this 3 times. You can do it 4 or 5, doesn't matter. Just make sure you get all the little pieces of copper that are inside there out. Now it's time to put it all together. This little yellow package I'm using here is contact grease. We're going to put some of this onto the bare metal to make sure that it doesn't oxidize. Cleaner I used earlier degreased the parts, so here I'm adding a little bit of lubricant on the end of the push rod. And then I applied it to the surface of the solenoid. Well, that's about it. All I have to do is put this back together again and mount it back on the engine, and I'll be done. Oh look, my kitty's in the way. You want to do this for me, kitty? Here you go. Take this. Take it. I want you to put this in the car. Okay, never mind. I'm done hooking it back up. Now let's see if it starts.